Dear friends, when life does not go according to your plan, sometimes the detour is taking you somewhere to a better place. Have you ever worked hard for something, prayed for it, planned for it, waited for it, and still it didn't happen? A job you wanted, a relationship you believed would last, a dream you worked years for, an opportunity that slipped away at the last moment, and you wondered, why me? What did I do wrong? Why is life not going according to my plan? Life is not always about getting what we planned. But perhaps there is something we forget. Sometimes it is about becoming the person we were meant to become. Think about a train journey. Sometimes the train stops unexpectedly. Sometimes it takes a different route. Sometimes we have to wait at a station we never planned to visit. At that moment, the delay feels frustrating, but later we may discover that the delay prevented us from missing something important or took us somewhere we never imagined going. Life can be like that. Steve Jobs once said, "You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards." And that is so true. There are moments in our lives, dear friends, that make absolutely no sense while we were living through them. But years later, we look back and say, now I understand why that happened. Think of someone who lost a job. At first, it felt like failure, but that loss forced them to learn a new skill that still opened another door. And eventually, they found a career they loved much more. That failure wasn't the end, it was a redirection. Or think about someone whose relationship ended. The pain was real, the loneliness was real. But with time, they discovered themselves again. They learned their worth. They became stronger, wiser, and more emotionally mature. Sometimes losing something does not mean that life is taking everything away from you. Sometimes it is making room for something better. J.K. Rowling, famous British author, once said, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." What a powerful thought. The place where you feel broken today may become the place from which you build your strongest tomorrow. So if life isn't going according to your plan right now, don't immediately conclude that your life is going wrong. Maybe you are simply in a chapter you don't understand yet. Don't judge your entire life by one difficult chapter. A bad examination result does not define your intelligence. One failed business does not define your ability. One rejection does not define your worth. One mistake does not define your character. And one painful season does not define your future. Remember this: a setback is an event, not an identity. You failed at something, that does not mean you are a failure. You were rejected, that does not mean you are worthless. You made a mistake, that does not mean your life is ruined. Learn, adjust, rise, and move forward. Sometimes we spend so much time asking, why did this happen to me? Perhaps a better question is, what can this experience teach me? Because you may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can control what you do with what happens to you. You cannot control every storm, but you can learn to become stronger in the storm. You cannot control every closed door, but you can decide whether to keep knocking or build another door. And you cannot rewrite yesterday, but you can write a better tomorrow. So today, my dear friends, if you are disappointed, if your plans have failed, if you are starting again, take a deep breath. You are not finished. Your story is still being written. The chapter you are struggling through today may become the chapter you one day look back upon and say, that was the moment I became stronger. So don't give up, because life didn't happen the way you expected. Sometimes the unexpected road leads to the most beautiful destination. Keep walking, keep learning, keep believing in yourself, and most importantly, my dear friends, never let a temporary situation convince you that your future is hopeless. Your best chapter may still be ahead. Life does not have to go according to your plan to turn out beautifully. Sometimes you don't need a new life. You simply need a new perspective. Trust the journey, learn from the past, live in the present, and keep moving toward tomorrow. Because the story isn't over yet, and perhaps the best is still to come. If this message, my dear friends, touched your heart, please like the video, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring and meaningful videos.